Happy New Year. Man, I don't even know what to say. I didn't write a script for this or anything. But yeah, let's start with that. Happy New Year. 2025 was nothing short of a blessing. My 2025 was kind of a continuation of my 2024, both with learning lessons, going to school, and then going into 2025. Just continued to crush it. We had the Pitbull remix. We had a bunch of other stuff. Started getting looks from like publishers, all that stuff. And we're continuing that into 2026. So there's a few things I kind of want to go over. The break that I took from YouTube, if you guys are here from me streaming 30 days, 30 remixes, and then kind of streaming consistently after that, and then kind of just falling off the face of the planet. I'm gonna make a whole separate video to get into that because it's quite a bit. Going into 2026, we have a pretty big plan. First of all, you guys are gonna get a video like this from me every day for 365 days. A short vlog. I don't think they'll be any longer than 10 minutes. I can't foresee that because some of it will be day in the life. Some of it will be me just talking to you on the camera like this. Talking about maybe goals or things that I'm working on. Maybe talking to artists, studio sessions, just stuff like that. I want to vlog the year, and I want to specifically do every day to kind of just show that while things are lit, some days are the same. Some days are just cut scenes, or filler days. But even on those days, they're great days. We get work done, and we still chase the dream. So, first of all, 365 vlogs. This one is shot on January 1st. It'll come out January 2nd, and then January 2nd will come out January 3rd. So it'll be shot day of, come out the day after. It's just probably going to be a lot of editing for me because I'm the only one doing this. I don't have a team. So, yeah, firstly that, and then every Wednesday for the next 52 weeks, I have an original song dropping. That's stressful as fuck, pardon my language. That's super, super, super stressful because it's 52 originals, it's not just the remixes, that I can do every week. That's, fine, whatever. Because the remixes, the top line's already done, and I just kind of got to make a beat around it, do some cool shit. But with my originals, they're my children. I kind of want to take a little more time with those. So we've got roughly the first 2 to 3 months, I think, all planned out. We're slowly getting the masters back from that. And when I say slowly, it's me slowly sending them to Ian. And then he's quickly turning them around for me so that we can get them ingested into the distro system and get them up. Firstly, shout out to Ian for being willing to turn around these records so quick because he's an integral part of this process. Shout out to all the artists that have cleared these records for me to be able to put them out. Some of them are really stepping outside their genres by doing this. And then also shout out to Latium, Charles, and Nick for believing in me and helping me with the distro. So that is really important. The 52 releases, original releases, just super important to me, super mind blown, and it's making me nervous because I have to do this vlog and then I have to do 52 originals, and then for each of those originals I'm trying to do a visualizer at least. I would like to do full music videos. I just don't think that's possible right now. It's not within the budget because I'm kind of living on the brink of just getting by because I took a step away from DJing in the capacity that I was. I'm not playing as many open format clubs. I'm playing more shows and stuff that I'm booked as an artist. And that's really important to me in the new year moving forward. And then aside from that, we also have 52 remixes coming. So every Wednesday, an original will drop. And then every Friday, a remix will drop. I would like to keep on the remixes. The remixes aren't as important to me. I know you guys like them. I know they're some of my, my most streamed things. And I love putting my spin on popular songs and, just songs that I hear and I like, and I'm like, oh, I could flip that. I love being able to do that. But what is more important to me is the originals. Um, Once a month, I'd like to do a pop up. Um, Either somewhere maybe in LA or a different city. Because we went through the numbers just from you guys on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, I have almost 1 million monthly listeners over here. I think right now, I'm probably at like 500,000, but it fluctuates between 500,000 to 2 million. And in the U.S., all the major city markets have more than 10,000 monthly listeners. So even if I can pull, 5%, 10% of you guys, that's 500 to 1,000 people, and I'd love to see you guys all out at shows. I'd love to see you out at pop-ups. So we're gonna start getting some of that going. Try and do more shows, do a pop-up at least once a month in a cool space. Find a way to support both local business and some charities. I have a pretty cool idea on that. More on that later. And then also, I think I'm going to do a weekly mix, or not weekly mix, monthly mix, somewhere out in the wild, just shot kind of cool, so I can play my music and then play cool music that I found, both of those things. And then I also think I'm going to start doing a remix contest every month. I'm not sure what prizes I'll give away or like how I'll source the prizes. I gotta figure that out. But aside from that, that's pretty much it on the music side, I believe. Yeah. So I just wanted to come on here and kind of just give you guys a game plan and talk about this. Because at the beginning of the year, I didn't do this last year, and I feel like even though I had motion the whole year and a lot of things happened for me and things started to happen and the ball got rolling, my goals were always up here in my head, and I didn't have a clear defined path to them, right? Or not even really a path. I didn't write them down. And I think that's really important. So today, I went through and actually with the help of ChatGPT, not really with the help, but like with ChatGPT, I typed in all my thoughts, whatever, and it kind of just organized them for me. And so I have a list. I'm going to read them off to you guys. And then I'm actually going to write them out later. I'm actually going to grab a notebook after I leave the studio here to start doing that. And then, yeah, I just wanted to come say what up, let you guys know what's going on. Like I said, some of the vlogs are going to be more of this, like talking on, maybe certain viewpoints I have and things like that. Something that I thought about on the way to the studio here is that I feel like the world needs to hear this message, and I feel like other artists need to hear this. I've taken the jump off the cliff 5 times, at least, and it's worked every time. Every time I've built up the courage, or just went and done the thing that was scary, it's worked out every time. And I know that there's probably some of you guys out there that might be watching this, whether you're an artist, whether you're an accountant, whether you're a chef, whatever you do, the worst thing that can happen is you just go back to doing what you were doing. Now I do understand that taking the jump is a little more risky for certain people in, certain situations, like if you have kids, if you have a mortgage, like things like that. That's when I would say, calculate a risk. You can still take the jump, but, calculate, but for people who don't, I took the risk when I first moved to Chicago. I sold my DJ gear to pay my first and last month's rent so that I could move to Chicago and financed new DJ gear because I didn't have any money saved up. I was pretty much living paycheck to paycheck, gig to gig, and had to sell my shit to make it happen. Sold my car for $600. It had an engine problem, and I probably could have gotten more, but I just wanted to let it go. So sold my car for $600. Sold my DJ gear to Guitar Center. If you've ever sold anything to Guitar Center, you know they don't really give you shit for that. And then moved to Chicago and slept on a futon, like one of those little futons that you get for going to college. You put in your dorm for 6 months, and finally saved up enough money to get a bed. Stayed in a shitty apartment with my brother Xander, and just trapped it out and made it happen. I took the jump moving to Tokyo. I moved across the world. I broke off a long-term relationship and moved across the world, kind of on a whim, because it's what my heart kind of had called me to do, and I needed to experience that, and it worked out. It put me in the situation that I'm in today. And then I took the jump when I moved back to the U.S. and took the leap of faith to move to L.A., one of the most expensive cities in the world, with no prospective income, no gigs, no connections for real out here. And it's working out. Some days obviously are, not the greatest days, right? But the highs aren't the highs without the lows. If you look into any, Greek philosophy, or just philosophy in general, you have to have the hard times to make the good times great. If you're watching this, I hope you consider this your sign. If you have taken the leap, there's signs that random thing happened that made this other thing happen, that wouldn't have happened unless you were, in the spot that you're in because you took the leap. None of that stuff would happen. The universe wouldn't give you those signs if you weren't supposed to make it. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you were meant to fail, the universe would let you fail catastrophically. It wouldn't keep providing ways for you to be not in the right place, right? So, yeah, I'm going to read some of these goals off. If you're watching this, feel free to comment your goals down below. We can hold each other to them. I'm super stoked for this year. It's going to be a hell of a year effort-wise. It's maximum effort for me, for sure, but it's do or die this year, and I really feel like I'm right on the precipice of something great. And I felt like that for a while, and I think it's just time to work it into fruition and work it to make it come true, because I don't like, kind of praying for things or asking the universe for things and then sitting back and letting things happen. I'd rather go get them. So I'm gonna grab my phone real quick and then let's read these. These are just kind of like baseline things right now that came to mind. They're like the general goal, and then there's obviously, steps within those goals. I don't write out the steps because I feel like sometimes if you get too detailed in things, it kind of locks you into only one path and then doesn't allow the opportunity for you to kind of see, oh damn, this path is gonna also help me get to the goal and accomplish what I need to accomplish. So first of all, I'd like to get to 100K this next year on all my socials: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. YouTube, we're at 57,000, so we're almost there. We got 80,000 to go on Instagram and like 97,000 to go on TikTok. All those can come relatively easy. It's just consistency, right? Posting good content. So the next thing I already talked about the releases: weekly Wednesday release, weekly Friday remix, pop-up monthly, monthly live mix, visualizer for every song. I would also like the Discord to revive the Apollo XO Discord and get that to like 1,000 core community members who are like all active and like really trying to help each other, really talking to each other in there, and really just build a strong community of people. I'd like to get back in the gym 5 days a week. I'm a little thick right now. I'm actually like the heaviest I've ever been. I'm like 190 right now, which I kind of did because I wanted to get heavier, so then I had a base to work from to get a little more fit. But once I get in there, I'm I love being in the gym. I'd like to get back into training martial arts again. I need to find a dojo out here. If you guys are watching this and you have any suggestions for jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, judo, let me know. Hit me up. I'd love to come train. I'd love to find a new gym to train at in the LA area. And then piano, guitar, and bass guitar. I need to be practicing those 15 minutes a day minimum. That just, helps me in the studio. It makes my life easier. I want to get deeper into studying design of things, furniture, architectural design, fashion design, speaker design, anything that's cool that I use in everyday life. I've always been a very hands-on person, always interested in building things. Also get back into writing. I'm doing morning pages, journaling every morning. If you're familiar with The Artist's Way, you know about morning pages, just dumping into pages as soon as you get up in the morning, and writing and just kind of, downloading all your thoughts onto paper. Not necessarily to go back and read, but just to just get that out of your head. I'd like to get into acting, man. I think doing acting would be sick. So I'm going to try to apply to at least 10. I don't know if 10 is high or low. I guess 10 to 20 roles a week. But yeah, I'd like to start doing auditions, and who knows, it'd be cool. It would just be sick. It would be sick to land like something in a movie, or like even if it's a small role, like just trying shit, just doing stuff, That's why my vlog is called Doing Things, And these next two are really important. I saw somebody talk about this online the other day, and they had seen somebody talk about it, and I was like, man, that's a really cool idea, really cool way to go out and like get after it, is trying to go out and get denied 1,000 auditions. That's not gonna happen. You're gonna go out and you're gonna audition for 1,000 things, and you're probably gonna get a lot of them, or you're gonna send 1,000 emails and you're gonna get replies, and you're gonna get a lot of opportunities trying to go out and get 1,000 denials. Trying to hear 1,000 no's is a lot harder than you think it is, Shooting for the moon, on everything, and just trying to go out and collect those denials. None of this stuff that I just said works without consistency. None of it comes to fruition without consistency. The career doesn't go anywhere without consistency. So waking up every day, no matter what's going on, living for the goals. You might feel just tired, or you might be down in the dumps or whatever, but like anytime you're just sitting there stagnant, like feeling lazy, feeling like you don't want to do something, do it for at least 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And like after that 5 minutes, you're gonna be like, oh damn, I actually have an idea for this. I like doing this, or like, whatever. I'm gonna keep working out. So those are my goals. So I'm going into this knowing that I'm not gonna be perfect, but consistency isn't perfect. My goal is to do this for the whole year. So yeah, with that being said, drop your goals in the comments, I guess. We can be accountability partners. And if you're that person that's right there trying to figure out if they need to take the leap, do it, because why not? Do it now, or you're just gonna sit and think and know that you didn't do it, and so you're never gonna know what could have been. It's as simple as that. Also, if you're out in LA and you want to get involved in any of the creative stuff, like if you're a director, you're a dancer, videographer, you color grade, anything like that, like if you're down to, link up and build and do some cool shit. I guess that kind of wraps up today's vlog, if you will. Day one. Yeah, I'm super stoked for this, and I hope that anybody who is watching this also accomplishes their goals. Alright guys, like and subscribe. I guess, fucking YouTuber. But yeah, it's 2026. Let's get after it. More videos coming soon. Video coming every day. So, peace out.